And again, just kind of showing you the level of detail with this line drawing that you see on this part for the table. Even the thicknesses are shown, the depth, all the radiuses there are showing on the piece, all the little detail for the structure placed in there very nicely, along with the graphics left and right. So in order to draw this table, I'm just going to use a template here just to show it to you. It has the center lines to it. This necessarily is not an isometric template. This one's at 20 degrees, so the minor axis is at 20 degrees. So I'll just line this up just to get it started. I'm just using the pen. You can use pencil, and that's giving you the first one. All you're then doing is dropping this down to try to simulate the thickness of the table and also compensate for the depth of the pen. And here, just with that edge is pretty close, you could just end up with that rounding part right away. And the part that has the section for the middle, kind of showing the cutout of the half distance of the table, I'm just going to line this 2 lines up so I can get a center line using the edge of the template. And that's the center line. So anywhere that I make this line, as long as it goes through the center of this, it'll give me that particular section. And then just making this straight down round. And any type of idea that you're rounding off those corners. And then the rest of it is just the legs of the table, so that's not necessarily using the template, so you don't have to necessarily worry about that part. But that's the selection for that piece. If I switch it out with a drawing, okay, can do the same now with this drawing. Kind of locate where it might be, give it a tangent line, give it a center line, so just estimating this piece to give myself a center line, which will start it. I like this. I'm going to make this pretty heavy. From the beginning, just dropping this down. This one's also pretty heavy. Why this was here, I do have the center for this one. Just going to offset it a little bit. Maybe to the front of this. Again, this can be a thin to a thick line, dark value. I'm just using that since I have it here to show that edge rounding off. So that gives me at least the surface to start off with. And then as I look at the 4 legs of the table, can kind of estimate. And again, remember this has the pieces for the wheels on it. Estimating that down here. Drop this down here a bit. So that part of the drawing, just weld it on there a little bit more technical to this piece. And again, zooming in on some of this for the detail. You can kind of see that part. Section. Let's see. There we go. So the foreground part's going to have just a little bit more design to it. So just lining this up. And this part you can heavy up the line pretty quickly. That's building that particular section up. Centerpiece for the wheel, just offset it a little bit. Kind of making the foreground one pretty large so it can represent the perspective part for any of these lines here. Setting that together. Let's see. And taking this back, kind of following this angle. Kind of getting the straight line set up into that piece. And just using some of the angles. So it's almost a rectangle within a rectangle into this. And it has a circular section for the wheel. That piece out. And this piece just tucked in here. Kind of gives you that selection here. And the same idea with this, you can go back in this section here. Represent the width and the length and the height. This. Continue this part back. And the wheels just, they're not actually perpendicular, so they're just a slightly different direction to it. Coaster. Just extend that down a bit. And the last one from this angle is kind of tucked in back here, so you only see part of it. I'm just going to overlap that piece. Distance, you have all four sides represented. Just go back and start to shade this in. Dark to light. I drew the template line rather heavy because I knew I just needed to shade this a little bit to represent the black surface. This is the white part of the table, just giving a little tone. Down. And here you can use the straight edge to help you shade. Find the line and just push the pencil along your ruler. This one here. So it still keeps the linear part. At the same time, gets a little tone onto there. Put a little paper down here. This direction since I missed away. So it's pretty dark value, so you're just trying to bring some light into it, shading it. That's into there. This one just going to make it a little lighter for the distance. Together. 258. Just blend that together. So just kind of going dark to light, making a little gradient here, keeping it a little accurate. Just go back and look for the accent darks to help you piece that piece together.